What's up, guys? Welcome to the podcast. You back on with the angle. I know. Derek, where you been at? You've been MIA. You got 1 million followers, subscribers. We out here waiting on you. I know. I get it. Look. Life. Okay, you know what I'm saying. Life happens. I've been busy. I've been working. I've been sick. All this stuff. It's all good. But we back. And what better way to come back than with having a special guest for y'all? Look, I'm trying to do it big for the podcast, man. I got a lot of important people I'm bringing on to the show to talk about some very important things with you guys. This is something I've been doing for a long time as well. Good college friend of mine's, frat bros, as you can see. Man, this dude is really important to me. Real cool guy. We're gonna be talking about some really important, really interesting topics for y'all today. This is gonna be a really good episode for y'all. Joseph, man, go ahead and get yourself a little introduction. Let them know who you are, and let's get into this thing.
All right, how y'all doing today? My name is Joseph Okeke. I am a graphic and web designer. Uh, Pretty much, what I'm saying, started work for myself and whatnot. Just kind of cruising through life. As we all know, life be life, and I try to make sure I just keep positivity over everything. And I try to make sure that's what I'm saying, the purpose of everything that I do. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I'm glad you said that actually, because that's what this podcast is all about. The Angle Podcast is all about giving perspective, depending on the topic of the day, positivity, motivation, and uplifting the black community, black men and women. And so it's a good thing that that's what you all about as well, because that's what the podcast is all about. It's kind of just like a full circle thing. If you guys are interested or like what you see on my graphic design, it was done by this guy. So hit him up, get some information from me. I got, get the emails, whatever what you gonna do, how you want to get in contact with me, but he can hook you up with some graphic design. He got some good prices, some good deals. Just let me know something. But anyway, man, look, we here with the podcast, bro. Let's really get into this thing, man. So today's topic is what is the difference between being wealthy and well off? And so I want to talk to him specifically about this thing, man, because this is one of the richest people I know, right?
All right.
As you can see, you know what I'm saying? He do it big out here. He got a real nice. It's real nice. It's real setup. But no, this is one person I can say he doesn't work a 9 to 5 job. That doesn't mean that he doesn't work hard and keep up with what he got going on. He got his money right. He got his mind right. But to have a situation that you have to where you don't have to do a 9 to 5, you got to have your mind right. You got to have your money right. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know how you're doing it. So that's kind of going to be like what we're talking about, and we're just going to trickle down from there. But yeah, what's the difference between being wealthy and well off?
So I think the main difference between being wealthy and well off, wealthy is not only are you well off, but you have your time and you also have great health as well.
Mm,
And
that's new.
that's the overall thing for wealth. Is what I'm saying, having a great health and a great time. And that's what a lot of people kind of forget about. Because when you're well
I
off,
forgot
you just
about that.
have money.
Okay.
You have a lot of money when you're well off. Um, but being wealthy kind of covers those other aspects that you kind of take for granted at the end of the day, and that's really like the main difference that I have between those two.
Wealthy and well off. So like, okay, you
Mhm.
said in shape, like healthy.
Yeah.
That's
So
that's big. I didn't
yeah.
think about that. Like a
Mhm.
good example I would say is Ludacris. I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't know how many people might follow Ludacris or like what he does in his day to day, but obviously he has a lot of movies out, a lot of songs, big influence in the rap game. Did some really nice movies that we've all loved to see. But when I see him on Instagram and social medias, he's like working out and eating right and talking about
Mhm.
being healthy. Like people like those guys, Kevin Hart as well, talking about eating right, being healthy, understanding financial literacy for the community, giving back, stuff like that. So that's kind of what you mean about being healthy as well as being well off and being wealthy, right?
Most definitely. And somebody that is considered well off would be somebody like Donald Trump or what I'm saying, somebody of that nature that kind of just solely focuses on the money
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
not the other aspects of life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, and the crazy thing is, a lot of wealthy people have more time to spend with their family, or they take family more seriously and stuff like that. And that's because they have that work life balance. When you're well off, you're just focused on the money, you're chasing the money. That's kind of your main goal. But when you're wealthy, it's you're keeping your family together. You know what I'm saying, keeping it strong or keeping yourself strong physically, mentally, and emotionally. So,
Well, that's gonna be the goal for me. I strive for
mm,
wealth then because I definitely want
so
to be as healthy as I can be for as
mm,
long as I can be.
mhm,
And I want to be the type of dad, what I'm saying, when that time comes where I
mm,
can be there for my kids. You know what I'm saying? What you call them? PTA meetings, the parent teacher
Oh yeah.
things. I want to be there for those things. You know, talent shows, recitals, all that. I want to be able to be present for those types of things. And doing these 9 to 5s, working for the man, all that stuff. It just it's damn near impossible to
True.
make those types of things happen when you don't have that kind of money flow to where you can just kind of call your own shots. And when you got money like that, when you got that type of wealth, you can call your own shots. That's just like a different type of quality of life for yourself and your family as a whole. I think it's very important. And so that's definitely a goal of mine. Like this, it's big for me. You know what I'm saying? What you
I
think?
agree. So I like how you brought up, you know what I'm saying, the fact that you can't really make it out with a 9 to 5 or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if a lot of people follow the little blueprint of life, or I call it the blueprint of life, use your 9 to 5 to have something stable, you know what I'm saying, have something continuously coming in or whatever. And then from that 5 to 9, or yeah, so you got a 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
but that 5 to 9, you need to be focusing on something that can get you out the rat race, or something that you can use as a side hustle, or you know what I'm saying. It needs to be something that's going to be able to prepare you forward. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like a lot of people don't see it like that.
I,
A
I
lot
think
more
a lot of
people than
people
you think.
do. They just don't put the. It's so what happens is
Mhm,
Dwayne the Rock Johnson has talked about this,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
It was this meme going around for a little while of him
mhm,
talking about you not tired, you don't have the desire. Once you get off your 9 to 5, it doesn't matter how tired you think you are. If you really want to get out of that rat race, as we're
mhm,
calling it, you're gonna have to use whatever time you got out of work to put in the work for the next thing that you want to do. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Long term, what your real desires are, what your real career goals are, what your real aspirations are. You have
mhm,
to take whatever time out of work to do that. Cut the sleep out. That's what a lot of wealthy, rich people do. They cut a lot of sleep out, which
yeah,
I can see how it works, but man, look, you're gonna be tired. I
for
mean,
sure.
like I'm working like 2, 3 jobs, and so like I'm glad we're on the topic, right? So for
Mhm,
me, okay, I'm working 2, 3 jobs.
mhm.
You got your thing going on, and so I'm trying to see how I can get like you, right? Um, Now things is going well for me right now. I
Yeah.
won't be doing the whole. I won't be working this much next year if
Mhm,
everything goes as planned.
mhm,
But it's definitely heavy and it's difficult right now. I don't get a whole lot of sleep. Then on top of that, I'm working out consistently. I'm trying to clean up my eating habits and stuff like that. I'm a dancer and model on the side, so I try to make sure I keep up with my projects and keep things going, keep
mhm,
content flowing, doing all this stuff. The podcast, I've been absent from the podcast. Now I'm bringing this back. I'm also getting back into becoming an avid reader because I have a new goal and aspiration in life to become a public speaker.
mhm,
So I'm trying to build my vocabulary. Speaking of public speaking, I'm trying to work on joining this club that's good for networking for
mhm,
public speakers so they can get job opportunities or just know how to use the art of public speaking for work and
mhm,
stuff like that for careers. These are all the things that I'm doing, but I'm still in this rat race of having to work consistently. If I lose any job, if I lose any money, if I lose any hours, stuff starts to trickle down. Where do you see me going with the things I just listed off
mhm.
to where I can make it out to where I have a situation to where I can call my own shots earlier on, like you have for yourself?
All you have to do is, so with those 3 jobs that you have,
Mm-hmm.
you need to save.
Right,
You
doing
know
a
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
check.
You don't have to invest. I mean, of course, I recommend investing to anybody. But the first thing you need to do is save up at least 6 months to a year, or save up enough money to where you will be able to, if you didn't make money for
Mm-hmm.
like 6 months to a year, you wouldn't have to worry about anything. That's how much money you need to have saved
Mm.
before you can even consider leaving the 9 to 5. Realistically,
That makes sense.
realistically. So
It's
you know
hard
what
to
I'm
do,
saying?
but it makes sense.
Yeah, it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
I will say that, but you have to have that discipline, and you literally got to lock in. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have, at least 6 months is the minimum. If you don't have enough to cover your expenses for 6 months, it's cool. Just stay in that 9 to 5, build your money up, because that's guaranteed income.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's going to come. You know you're going to get a check every week or every 2 weeks for 100% fat. You know what I'm saying? So stick to that. Save that money up, and really after that, it's kind of like there's not really a limit. You know what I'm saying? And once you have that saved up and you have that discipline, you're going to be able to let that trickle down into whatever you want to do, whether it's a side hustle or you starting your own business, stuff like that, it will come easy after that money is saved up.
So speaking of starting businesses, do you feel like starting a business is just that easy? I hear people talk about it all the time. I get on social media. Sometimes I get on my Facebook because a lot of us don't use Facebook like that. So we kind of leave it
I
for the
know.
older generation people. And so I get on there and I just crack jokes all the time. I talk about how much I hate my jobs and all this other stuff. And so speaking of older people, a lot of my grandparents and aunties that's older, they get on there, they see my posts. I got an auntie, she'll come on there, she'll see me complaining, and I'll be like, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? This happened at work, or I'm tired of dealing with this from the men. She'll tell me, you need to start a business. I'm just like, auntie, okay, yeah, let me just go start one. I got a business for you right now. I can just do it. We can just run it up. Like, I don't know why people think you could just start a business tomorrow. Because you gotta have a audience, people that you're trying to cater to. You gotta have a business plan, you gotta go to the bank. I mean, it's the thing, it's stuff that you gotta be able to do.
That is true.
It's not just like a, you know what I'm saying?
Now, the thing is, it is extremely easy to start a business,
Okay. I might be wrong about
but
okay.
keeping that business going
Hmm.
is the hardest part. Anybody can start literally anybody can go out and get an LLC. Anybody can get an EIN number, DUNS number, everything like that. Like you can go get that. That is very, very easy to do. But actually creating a thriving business, that's the hard part. That's where 99% of people fail at.
So
Like continuing.
why is that the hard part? That kind of throws me for a loop. I feel like
Because
if I
that's
had a
the
business and I was passionate in that business and I knew that business was gonna work,
mhm,
I don't see it failing so
mhm.
quickly and so easily. Well, like,
That's
what's the hard part about it?
a lot of people don't put in their work though. Like you can be passionate about something, but if you don't put that work or put that effort in, it's still going to fail regardless. And that's only because you're not putting in the effort that you need to,
Hmm.
which kind of goes back to like kind of like that Dwayne thing that you kind of brought up or whatever. If you
Yeah.
don't have enough passion for it,
Hmm.
you're not going to be able to put the work behind it, right? And I don't know what quote that or whoever that quote is from or whatever. If you, whenever you are ready to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you will not fail.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Something
That's
like
a good
that.
one.
Yeah. And that's exactly how it is. You know what I'm saying? Some people can say that they're passionate about
Hmm.
their business or they say that they're passionate about having, you know what I'm saying, creating these streams of income and stuff like that. But now it's gonna sound like a little religious or whatever. What is it like? Faith without work is something like I can't
Faith
remember what it
without
is.
work. I think it's a beginning to that, or is it? Or are we looking for the end?
The end part.
Okay, we
Faith
looking.
without work is dead, or something like that. I
You almost there.
Yeah,
Yeah. See,
something like something like that. Yeah.
this disclosure, I am not of the Christian faith. I'm
Mhm.
trying to figure out my spirituality, but in case somebody wanted to know, they wanted to unsubscribe, go ahead. I don't know. It gets real serious with Christians. They ready to drop. They ready to drop. As soon as they find out you're not walking with God, it's
Oh
because I'm
Lord.
not saying that. I believe that God exists.
Mhm.
I just, the Christian faith is a whole nother thing. But we getting off topic. We trying to talk about, what I'm saying, what we can really tangibly
Mhm.
deal with right now, which is
Yeah.
trying to figure out what wealth is, right? So, okay, here's my thing when it comes to a business. If I got a business,
Mhm.
it's a good business. Let me think of something that's actually really good.
Mhm.
I see stuff. I live in Texas right now, and it's the business of everything. Somebody got something open somewhere. Like
Mhm.
the other day, I just drove past a indoor skydiving place. It was,
Hey, okay.
it's always it's something for everybody. So if I open up a restaurant and I know I'm making the best burgers known to man,
Mhm.
I don't see that failing as long as I'm bringing in my clientele. People
Mhm.
coming to buy the burgers and they loving it. You know what I'm saying? They telling their friends about it, and I continue to grow through word of mouth, and then I start to advertise on social media, billboards. I'm talking to people on the streets. I'm doing my thing. I don't see that failing so fast, but a lot of the
Mhm.
time, especially with restaurants, people talk about how restaurants is one of the first ones to fail within the first 5 years.
Yeah. But you see everything you just said, that was literally you putting in the work and putting in the effort.
Mm-hmm.
So of course it won't fail. You know what I'm saying? Besides the fact that, like, say if it's something like COVID or something comes up, or
COVID
whatever,
was
like
crazy.
something out of your control.
Yeah.
But that right there, you're putting in the work, you're putting in the effort. A lot of people don't do that. They just create their business and they just let it go to the wayside. But you are actually putting in what it takes to keep that business afloat.
Maybe I should start a business.
I mean, yeah, as long as it's something you're passionate
Because
about and you
I
know
don't,
that you can
I
keep
just
up
don't
with.
understand. Like my thing is, I don't have a thing
Mhm,
that I could sell to people. I wish I could. That's
mhm,
why I'm trying. I can talk to people all day. You
mhm,
know, so I can make this a thing.
mhm,
Podcasting, radio personality, public speaking.
mhm,
I like doing this stuff. You know what
mhm,
I'm saying? But as far as like having like a business or selling something like my girlfriend, she has plenty of things
mhm,
that's uh you can make some money off of that. She can monetize off a lot of her talents.
mhm,
Yoga, she has a workout license, a workout instructor license,
mhm.
also with nutrition. She also does music. She songwrites and sings. Those are things that it's a lot of
Those are
money in
fancy.
all those different avenues. I dance and model. Now you can make money with dancing and modeling, but you do have to be one of a kind on both sides. For dancing, you have to be somebody that is you catch their eye just almost immediately.
Mhm,
It's just kind of like boom, like that. I've had my
yeah,
moments, you know what I'm saying, and that time can still come. Then modeling, you know what I'm saying. If you're not a 6 foot tall guy, this is what I was told when I was in the industry, like auditioning and doing stuff.
mhm.
They said you look good. You just not the height that we need, and when you try to go out there in the real world, they're gonna need you to be at least 6 foot, and it's just not gonna work out. You can try print modeling, which I do print model. I wouldn't mind seeing myself in the mall looking like that.
That would be dope. That would still be dope. Hey,
No,
a
yeah,
win is a
I think
win
it'd be cool if I'm
for
walking
sure.
past H&M and I got on one of their little jackets and I got like a little pose. So that'd
That'd
be
be
tight.
hard.
But I've always dreamt of like being a runway model.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of
I've
cool.
had I've
Yeah,
had the last version. I ain't gonna lie,
that'd be kind of cool. You get to walk
for sure.
around with their clothes or something. Like, I think a lot of times you take it home for free. Oh, you the mall,
Mhm,
you get to have it, designer clothes, all that stuff,
mhm,
and you get to travel the world. Fancy foods, fancy places. I think it'd be kind of tight, but
yeah,
you know, but yeah, I just don't have a thing that I can think of that I could just turn into like a business, and I got a building for it or
mhm.
have an office for. I just, I don't know,
You
but
go a digital route,
ooh.
for example, creating courses teaching people how to dance.
Now that's a whole nother thing, because that's kind of
Mhm,
where I talked to my girlfriend about what she has going on.
mhm,
There's levels to it. So with yoga, there's levels to it. I feel
mhm.
like right now she could and should be teaching yoga, but she's like, there's levels to it. I could be
Understood.
doing that, but I could be doing it wrong, and I could be getting looked at by the people I admire the most incorrectly. They might perceive me wrong. It's a lot. So it's the same thing
Mhm,
with dance. I'm very, very decent at dance, especially right now. I've been learning a whole lot more, especially since I left my hometown. Dancing wasn't a big deal there,
mhm,
and I was one of the ones that took it the most serious. So I had to leave to grow, and I'm glad that I did. And growth has been happening, but I'm still in the growing process. I could teach some kids some stuff,
mhm,
but I'm not gonna be able to teach like the average adults some stuff that they really need that can really carry on with them in the future. That's gonna be beneficial dance wise.
mhm.
When I hit my late 30s, I'm thinking I could be a dance teacher. I have so much knowledge and so much experience,
Mhm.
and so, but I see what you're saying though. Digital, we are in digital right now. We are in the late.
Tough, real tough.
What century we in? Like 2000s or the 21st century right now?
Is it 21st century?
Yeah, we in 21st century.
Mhm.
Everything's digital, so it would make sense to go digital and try to start from there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. Well, okay, then, that's what this podcast is about, man. It's about perspective, man. I'm learning
For
something
sure.
new today. I might
Mhm.
start a business tomorrow, because that's what he's telling me right now.
I was just,
He telling me
I mean,
right now I can start a business tomorrow, and it might be okay,
I
right?
mean, like so realistically speaking, it can take like a couple days, like, and that's it. Like
That's
that's it.
interesting.
Like it's very easy. Of course, you know what I'm saying, you got to make sure you do it the right way. Structure
Legally.
it, yeah, structure it the correct way, whatever. Make sure it's recognized by what the Secretary of State or something like that. Um, but yeah, like I said, creating it is easy. Keeping it afloat is the hardest part because what I'm saying, it's levels to running a business too. Whether you're doing stuff digitally or like the brick and mortar business, like it's a lot of stuff that has to go behind it. You know what I'm saying? Do you need commercial insurance or um, do you have to so like it's all your legal stuff covered. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
it's just a bunch of behind the scenes stuff that kind of go with it, and that's
It's
another hard
important.
part.
It's really important. Legal is important.
Hmm.
Your legalities have to be in line. Because I had a
Sure.
crew, a dance crew. You know about it.
Oh yeah.
And I was finna get us a LLC and an EIN number. I was in the process of getting all that stuff done before the downfall. So I'm pretty aware of how that stuff was going. When I was at the office with the lady working on my LLC, she was like, "Look, I see what you're trying to do with this crew, but she was a black lady. She's trying to help me out. I was downtown, and she was like, I can get you like your own thing. You can have your own thing." And I was thinking about it. And I talked to a couple of people, and I was like, "What do you think about me getting like a LLC just for myself as a dancer?" And he was like, I mean, you could do that. That would be cool, just to say that you got one, but it kind of quite literally won't do much for you individually with what you're trying to do. Because if you got an LLC, you kind of have like a business, like you selling something. And some people might say that you kind of selling yourself, which I can see that, but a product would just make a little bit more sense for the whole LLC EIN number thing.
Like
But I
merch.
kind of went through the process of like seeing what it looks like at the very beginning stages. We didn't get to finish it out, but I do know it's important. If you ain't got that stuff down, man, the IRS is coming, the government coming, the state coming.
Boy.
You know what I'm saying? When you try to file your taxes, they coming. Like all that stuff is gonna matter, man. I don't want nobody to be listening to the podcast and they get to thinking like, oh, they just trying to make it seem like it's easy to start a business, and they get to commenting crazy stuff. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
Nah.
We speaking very general, but we
Yeah.
trying to let y'all know, man. Start a business. It's got to make sense. But if you have a true aspiration for something, if you have something that's actually tangible, something that's actually sellable, something that you're passionate about for real, it might not be a bad idea to start a business as long as you got that true passion. Because it seems like coming from the two of us, people who have that downfall are people who don't really have that passion on the back end. They kind of get it started and they never finish the thought. That's a big deal.
I agree. And just a disclaimer, like I'm only speaking off of actual experience. So I do have LLC, OKQ Graphics, LLC or whatnot. I'm literally speaking from my own experience and seeing it set up. Uh, I'm not speaking on the sole proprietorship, a corporation, S corp, none of that. Just LLC, and that's all. Just throwing that disclaimer out there. But yeah.
So okay, if you don't mind, well, like I'm saying, the viewers might want to know if they paid attention to the beginning. What do you do to keep yourself afloat from not having to work the 9 to 5? Because I know that you do several things to bring your incomes in, but you want to like discuss some of that. Like you ain't gotta be super detailed, but like how do you make it work?
We can. All right, you feel me? So the thing is, I love to hustle. Like I do. It's just in me. Like you will never see me broke. You will see me, what I'm saying? Like I may, also be kind of down on my luck financially or whatever. I will never be broke. I will always say that and I will always believe it and I'll always prove that every single time. So the main thing that I do, of course, is graphic, web design, and different things like that. Um, I have, I'm saying a few clients that I work with continuously or whatever, like making logos, cover art, different things like that. I do have clients that I have under contract, for the website development, on a monthly basis or whatnot. So I have that, going or whatever. And of course, I still try to reach out to other people, build up the clientele and different things like that. I also do delivery apps. I started with Uber Eats or whatever, stuff like that. And like I've touched on pretty much all of them that I could without having to be on too long of a wait list. Walmart, Spark, Instacart, Roadie, like pretty much in them you can think of. Like I do it. If there is some type of avenue that I am able to make money with, I'm going to try it. And that's just because I get my like entrepreneurial spirit and mindset and whatnot from my dad or whatnot. And I was trying to, kind of following his footsteps. And also me personally, I just don't want to be in the 9 to 5 thing because I feel trapped or whatnot. But at the same time, I was also able to save up that money. I was talking about that 6 months to a year type thing. I was also able to do that, so that's why I'm kind of staying in this mode that I am now. It takes a lot.
Yeah,
like it takes a lot.
I feel like if you're gonna get here, you kind of have to stay here because if you set yourself up for a year saving, you do it, and now you try to chase a dream or chase an aspiration to that's gonna bring you more income, more money. You gotta stay there because if you don't, now you're like, oh, you might be on the street, you in the car, you want somebody couch on. It can go bad quick if you don't stay on top of it. So it makes sense what you're saying.
I agree.
So like
I was also gonna say, if all else fails, it's cool to go to a 9 to 5. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying 9 to 5s are bad. I'm not saying, what I'm saying, people are not smart for staying in a 9 to 5. I'm not saying that whatsoever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That is still, at the end of the day, steady income. Regardless of what you want to say, that is still steady income. That is more steady than starting a business. That is more steady than doing deliveries. That is more steady than doing graphic design. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still going to be more steady to have a 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying? Um, but at the same time, if you are able to grow your side hustle or something into a business that is able to replace that income, like for example, when what I'm saying, you go to your 9 to 5 and then you got your 5 to 9 work that you need to do. If the money that you make from that ends up but being the same amount that you make from your job or more, then what I'm saying, a few months down the line, maybe 6 months, I don't know, 6 months kind of like that golden time period. If you're able to make the same amount or more for at least 6 months straight, what I'm saying, if not progressively, then at that time, a 9 to 5 is kind of like your side hustle. A 9 to 5 can be your side hustle if your side hustle or business is outperforming that.
Okay.
And from that point on, you will be able to be comfortable and actually stick to that and be able to stay with that. You know what I'm
Now I
saying?
have heard that from a lot of entrepreneurs that whatever your entrepreneurial aspiration is, if
Mhm.
that's really making more money than your current 9 to 5, it might be safe to go ahead and make that a full time thing now.
Mhm.
And I just think that would be great. That would be
I would
so
love to
great.
get to that
Yeah, I
point.
would love to
Like,
be in a position to where I'm making enough money. I don't have to go to work. I ain't gotta clock in. The money is all determining like when I feel like waking up, when I feel like making the phone calls, when
Mhm.
I feel like getting a product done.
Yep.
That's a life right there.
Yep.
That's oh my gosh,
And you
man.
you wanna know what life on steroids is? Is when you are making enough passive income
Hmm.
to where you don't have to work.
Yeah, we haven't even got to the passive income yet. We
Oh
we
man,
just talking.
that's like what the seventh. What is it called? The seventh, eighth wonder of the world. Oh no, that's compound interest. That's a whole different topic. Anyway, but yeah, passive income. If
Mhm.
you are making money in your sleep,
Yeah,
what I'm saying, from all the work that you do on the front end and whatnot, I feel like that is truly the life. And that right there is when you can really become wealthy, because you're going to have way more time to do whatever you want to do, because your money is making itself.
yeah. The money is it's coming in on the back end, and you're not having to do
Yes.
anything. It's the work it's the fruits of your labor. The work that
Yes.
you don't put in is now starting to, you know
You're
what I'm
trying to
saying?
you're trying to reap the benefits of it. For
So
sure.
I would love to have that. I don't know what that would be for me yet, other than this one thing. I want to write
Mhm.
a book one day, and that's another
Yeah.
reason why I'm getting myself back into reading and being
Mhm.
avid on that. I'm almost done with my first book of the month, and so we just gonna keep going from there. But once I write my book, that's passive income. Especially
Mhm.
if it does well, the numbers are doing well, people
Mhm.
are liking it, they buying it, it's selling, all that good stuff.
Mhm.
That's passive. I
Yeah.
don't know what else I'll be doing that's passive. I want to go into business with a group of friend of mine.
Mhm.
We got like a men's group where we check on each other's mental health,
Okay.
physical health, spirituality, stuff like that. And
Mhm.
then we also talk about each other's finances, how things are going.
That's nice.
And once we are already financially and just like life wise, we
Mhm.
plan to go into a business of first we're gonna start with I almost said car wash. It's a washer dryer, a laundromat.
Nice, man. Okay.
They statistically is one of the easiest businesses to run. And that's
Yeah.
kind of we want to go into that collectively. If that goes well and we doing well with that, that's passive. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Real estate. If you're able to get into that and you know what you're doing in real estate, that could be passive. Like
Mhm.
I have some things that I want to do. It's just some time. It's gonna take some time to get to that level. But
Mhm.
it sounds
And some capital too.
now. What's capital?
Capital is money, like
Mm,
the money that you need to actually put into it. Like for example, um, say if a laundromat costs $30,000 or whatever, and you just gotta at least put that down payment down. Like
mm,
say it's like 10%, or like, what is it, like $3,000?
yeah.
Like that would be like the starting capital that you would need. It's really just another word for money.
Okay.
If you know what I'm saying, in layman terms, it's just another word for money.
Like another word for down payment, almost.
It could be, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying, like either a down payment or paying in full. And I'm speaking more in like real estate terms and stuff like
Right.
that. But like for example, how somebody what's a good example? Like say if somebody's trying to start a business or start a restaurant or whatever, like they know they're gonna need like $100,000. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot.
That's the money that you need to raise. If that's the total that you need before you can do anything with that restaurant or anything with that business, then that's the capital or that's the money that you need to raise. Right. And say, for example, say if you've been saving up money, you know what I'm saying, for a while, and now you got $10,000 to your name. That can be your starting capital to whatever you want to pursue or whatever venture you want to, you know what I'm saying, put that money into.
So that's the definition of you got to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, that's not always the case, but the easiest way to make money is to spend money. But you will be way more well off if you're able to make money without even spending.
Hmm.
Because you know what I'm saying, it's 100% profit at that point. And that's where a lot of people that sell digital products, that's where they come into play. You know what I'm saying? People that sell ebooks or like downloadable content, different stuff like that. You don't have to pay. Typically, you don't have to pay for anything up front. You literally are just posting it and you know what I'm saying, sending it out to people and they're downloading it or paying for it to get downloaded it. And then you know, so you make money off of it. Like you make 100% profit off
Digital. What was the whole deal with that NFT stuff? It never made sense to me. I didn't know what was going on,
it.
but I know
NFT.
you know about it.
Yeah, for sure. Non-fungible tokens. In a nutshell, they were, or it was digital art that had monetary value.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
pretty much that was it. And it also had, I forgot the actual term for it, but it had, what was it? Specific benefits attached to some of them. Like for example, the biggest one was what Board A Yacht Club or whatever.
Hmm.
So you know what I'm saying, you buy that little art, buy whatever, you know what I'm saying, whichever board ape that you wanted or whatnot, and it comes with perks and stuff. Like with theirs, I think they had like private parties, like different stuff like that or whatever, exclusive to those token holders or whatever. There was one that I bought into that was beach bums versus beach bums versus something. I forgot what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like they had the cooler art or whatever, but with that, I had access to travel discounts, like hotel discounts, flight discounts, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, and also they had like an internal token or whatever that they was going to eventually trade over to like actual money, like fiat currency or whatnot. And you know what I'm saying? Like it would just be these different perks attached to it. But another thing, or the main thing that people did that made multimillionaires, they would buy into it or buy into the hype or whatever. And then once the price shot up like crazy, they would just sell it off. So it was, you know what I'm saying? It was like two different ways to kind of benefit from it. You can either hold it and use whatever perks come with it, or you can buy low, sell high.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. How can we continue this
Beach Bums
topic?
versus Exotic Apes. That was the name of
That's what it was.
it.
That's the
Yeah.
way. That's the NFT that you purchased.
Yeah. I
Um,
bought three different ones, two different ones.
are there any? Is there anybody that you look up
Mm.
to keep up your financial goals? Right, like people that inspire you to do more with what you're trying to get accomplished financially.
Uh, it just gonna sound so cliche, but my family. So one, because of the fact that I get my entrepreneurial mindset and spirit from my dad, but overall my family, because my goal is to have my grandkids born rich.
Mm.
And I will always stick beside that because if my grandkids are born rich, that means I have already created generational wealth and my whole family is eating. Like one of my main goals is to be able to have my mom and dad like literally get them whatever they want.
Hmm.
Get them whatever house they want. You know what I'm saying? Like literally anything they can dream of, I want them to have it. Kind of as a like a thank you or a payback for bringing me into this world. And that's something that I'm always like. That's going to always be in my heart, always be in my mind. And like, regardless of how cliche that sounds, I'm going to make it happen. Like I'm going to make that happen. And
Okay.
that's the thing that literally keeps me going. So to answer the question, you know what I'm saying? I say all that to say it is my family that keeps me inspired and keeps me going. For
Okay.
sure.
I think that's actually a pretty dope response.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's see. What's your next step right now?
Man, that's a my next step right now. Well, there's been a lot going on. Of course, I won't get into the details, but there's been a lot going on. Um, and my next step is pretty much putting, you know what I'm saying, putting the work and effort that I do in order to stay afloat financially, putting it into overdrive. So whatever that may look like, you know what I'm saying, I may get back into a 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying, to keep some like steady income coming in or whatever, but I'll still be doing my things on the side. Like I'm literally just going to put as much as I can
Mm-hmm.
into get back, you know what I'm saying, to where I want to be. And that is my next step. And it's kind of hard to answer that because that could be like anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just throwing out different ideas that I have. Um my next official step would be to get more web design clients because those contracts right there, that comes bi-weekly or monthly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's still my side thing. Like that's my thing under my business. You know what I'm saying? So that'll still be to myself. That's one. Another one is to, you know what I'm saying, try to get back into affiliate marketing and different stuff like that or whatever, because I feel like I kind of lost the drive in that. But it's also very lucrative. And it's not really a lot of startup costs with that. So it's going to be a mixture of those two things. I feel like would be my next step, if not more immediately, getting like a 9 to 5 or whatever, just until I can figure out whatever kinks I need to work out.
Okay.
But yeah, as of right now, you know what I'm saying, like I'm still cool, still good. Like I just would like to be better. You know what I'm saying, like.
No, yeah,
But
I
yeah.
think that's an important thing.
Mm,
We are all always trying to be better, be our best self. And if we're not trying to do that, then whatever position, whatever space we in right now,
mm,
you know, you just have yourself to blame
mm,
when you aren't trying to be your best self at all times. And I've had a lot of setbacks on my side for the arts of what I do
mm,
when things aren't going the best with my dancing and you know the modeling and acting and stuff like that. I kind of have to reflect and be like, well, I'm not applying myself
mm,
appropriately the best way I can. This year is a whole nother thing. I got me a whole new regimen of
mm,
like how I want to portray myself, how I want to train, how I want to network, and who I want to work with,
mm,
and how I want people to perceive me. It's a whole new thing happening, and it's just January,
mm.
and I'm literally already getting compliments and messages from people talking about there's a clear difference in what I got going on. Like you know, whatever you're doing different is we can see it. It's already noticeable, and it's just January.
That's dope. For
I appreciate that. You know,
sure.
so
Mm,
we just it's all about just having that consistent desire to want to do better and want to do more. And once you're able to kind of hit that switch, flip that switch, it has to happen through a lot of adversity in life.
mm,
What do we talk about financially, real life, spiritually, what you want to do with the arts? You kind of have to have those adversities to get
mm.
to that point. It doesn't just happen overnight. Some people kind of born with that switch. It might be this guy, right? He
Oh,
got that
man.
switch to where it's like, hey, I will never be broke. You ain't gonna see it. And if you see me broke, you ain't seen me or something. I don't know, but
Yeah,
a lot
like
of the time, man, it
it's
does take a lot of adversity for you to get to a point to where
for sure.
it just clicks in your mind, like, okay, either
Mm,
it happens now, it's now or never.
mhm.
And I
And
feel
I
like I'm getting to that point.
And I feel like a lot of millionaires and billionaires think that way too,
Hmm.
because you need to make mistakes in order to progress. Because if you don't make any mistakes, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't mess up or anything like that, you are not going to be at your fullest potential at all.
Yeah.
Even though it may sound positive, like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, everything good. Like I'm not making mistakes. What's the problem? Do you know where you could be at? You know what I'm saying? Like if you making mistakes is a very crucial part of life, just in general. You know what I'm saying? Not only will you appreciate, you know what I'm saying, you appreciate the end goal, or what is it? The end game, whatever you want to call it. End
Hmm.
result. Not
Yeah.
only will you appreciate the end result more, but you learn so much from mistakes. and it helps propel you like for way more than you can ever imagine. You know what I'm saying? What is that like? Dang, I'm saying like so many like quotes and sayings and whatnot, but what is it like if something bad happens to a person? That like, yeah, it's either a blessing or a lesson.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
So
It's
that's
a
a new one to me.
yeah. You
I
know,
haven't
so
heard that
like
one.
I said, I know I'm saying a lot of sayings, but some of them are really, you know, what I'm saying they're really helpful. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying in life in
Relevant.
general, if you or relevant, yeah. If you actually internalize them and be like, okay, yeah, like that makes sense. Like I should do that, or I should think this way. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But yeah.
I get that. I get that. You do need it.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of mistakes, and
Mhm.
ultimately, it has helped in the long run.
Mhm.
It doesn't always feel nice, even when you look back at it.
Yeah.
You look back at some of the mistakes, and you still kind of feel the same ways you felt when you first made that mistake.
Mhm.
You do have to either have that trigger in your mind, or you have to have a person next to you that kind of reminds you, like, well, if it wasn't for this, you wouldn't be here, type thing.
Mhm.
It's important, and that's on all aspects of life.
Yeah.
So let's see, gatekeeping. It's a big deal for me when people like to gatekeep. Do you feel like that's really a thing, gatekeeping? Like, are people really just gatekeepers, or are
Mhm.
the people who on the outside of the gate just lazy bums?
Depend gatekeeping in what aspect?
So right now, I'm speaking financially, right?
Mhm. Okay.
You can't just always go to somebody who got some money and expect a handout on some knowledge. I'm not just talking
Mhm.
about like tangible physical money. You ain't got to give me some money. Like, I want to know what you did,
Mhm.
and they might just be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You just keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna get there. Like,
Yeah.
is that not feel weird to you? It feels weird to me.
Yeah. Uh, it it depends because I'm kind of on both sides of that. I'm more so heading towards like the gatekeeper side. I ain't gonna
Mm,
lie, because you have to think they have done so much research. They have fell on their ass so many times, and they have put in so much work to get to where they are. You know what I'm saying? And then to have somebody come up and be like, "Hey, what are all the steps that you know what I'm saying I need to do to make as much money as you?" You know what I'm saying? You can't like realistically, you can't just expect them to be like, okay, like I done went through all this, so bet let me just get it to you so you can do the same thing. Like let me get it to you so you can add to my competition. Let me get it to you so you know what I'm saying you can take money from like technically like take money from me. I feel like they feel like certain people will not respect or appreciate it because they didn't have to go through that. They didn't have to go through anything. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I am kind of on the other side as well because it's kind of like if you are doing something, you know what I'm saying, you're making all this money or whatever, and it's something that is not a competitive industry or something
hmm
like that. For example, like Forex trading. Like anybody can eat off of that. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you have like the gurus and stuff and like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, I got you. Like I'm gonna give you this like this little cookie cutter um like outline of what you know what I'm saying what I did without giving you like actual information or
Right.
whatnot. Like I understand that as well because it's kind of like you gotta do some of the work or you gotta do most of the work yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I'm kind of on both sides of it.
Okay. Let me try to
But
sway. Let me try to
yeah,
sway
right.
you.
Well, which side are you?
I'm on the other side of, like, you know what I'm saying? Why you got to gatekeep? Because
Okay.
here's my thing.
All right.
I don't see it taking money out of nobody's pockets
Mm,
if you help the next person out. I
mm,
don't I don't understand why people get a kick out of seeing the next person struggle because they struggle. It just
mm,
don't make a whole lot of sense to me. So
mm,
if I'm making some money and I figured out the key, somebody come up to me like, man, listen, I've been doing this for a while. I'm trying to get like you. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? How do I do that? I gotta respect the fact that he didn't say, let me have some starter money, bro. Like, I know you got it.
Yeah.
He came up to me and said, I want to know how you got to where you at. Can you teach me your ways?
Mm,
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Like, let's watch the next person eat, because the thing is, we live
mm.
in America. This is the most money hungry
Oh
place you
man.
can think of. There's
Yep.
so much money out here. They try to
Mm,
make it seem like it's not. Once you figure out what you want to do with your life, there's money in the field.
mm,
It doesn't matter what you want to do. It's
mm,
like you can be a millionaire, billionaire. It can happen tomorrow
mm,
based on what you do in this type of country that we live in. That's why everybody come here.
Yeah.
The money is here, bro. You're not gonna lose it.
Yeah.
So that'd be my thing when people like wanna, oh yeah, man, like nah, I ain't trying to, nah, you good, man. Oh, you gonna get there eventually. I hate that. I really hate that. I
Yeah.
hate that the most. You're going to get there. Keep doing
Mhm.
what you're doing. You
Mhm.
almost there. Or I was just like you. Thanks. You were just like me, but now what did you like? What was a turning point? Like, give me something. You
Yeah.
don't want to give me nothing because you think I'm gonna take some money out your pocket. I can't be your
Mhm.
competition. There's no competition because you've already made it.
Yeah.
You got your clientele, you got your passive, you got your people.
Yeah.
I don't see it taken away from you. Help
But
me out.
but then again, that's not always the case. Like that you know what I'm saying, typically is a lot of the case or whatever. They're like, yeah, I don't want more competition or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I feel like that really, really big one is that, you know what I'm saying, they put in all their work. They had to do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? Of course, some people have like a mentor and stuff like that, but a lot of them people do all of that themselves. So looking on their side, they're kind of like I just got to give you a handout. Like I done went through all this BS to get to where I'm at, but now you know what I'm saying, like you got like I don't know, it's kind of like a free ride type thing or whatever, and I feel like that's how some of those people look at
It can be it can be looked at like that all day. It can be a free
it.
ride all
It
day.
just
My
depends.
thing is like I get it. You went through that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to go through that. It just like I don't have to go through it, but it kind of feels like they're saying I went through it, so you go through it too, and that just kind of feels it's a word for it. I'm reading books and I don't have it in my mind right now, but
Mhm.
it's a word for somebody who kind of just want to see you struggle too,
Mhm.
and it feels weird to me.
Yeah.
They're not saying it verbatim,
Mhm.
but that's kind of how it comes off
Mhm.
when they put it like that. If I did it, you can do it. If I went through it, you can go through it. Because if I give
Yeah,
you the
they get in
answer,
line. Yeah.
if I give you the answer now, you're not going through the same thing I went through, and that's not fair to me or whatever. And that's just so weird to me. I don't get it. I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, you know what I'm saying, to each his own. Like different people have their different reasons. Some people gatekeep just to be, you know what I'm saying, be an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Some people gatekeep because, you know what I'm saying, they went through all that struggle or whatever. Some people gatekeep because they feel like they should be paid for the knowledge they're able to give somebody that doesn't know anything about what they're into. Type, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's literally a multitude of different reasons, I think.
Okay.
That's why I'm on both sides, but I'm more so on the gatekeepers people side. But at the same time, so how do you feel about people that charge for courses or charge for the knowledge that they have?
I think that's weird. I
Okay,
do
why is that?
because you charging me to come learn something from you,
Mhm.
and you could just teach it to me, and I can just fail at it.
Yeah,
So I just paid you, and I got nothing out of that.
but wouldn't that be on you?
That's on me. But the thing is,
As
you
long as
you
they teach
you
it well enough.
paying me. I mean, I'm paying you as if this is a guaranteed thing. Like if you pay me today, you're guaranteed, and it's not guaranteed. People
Mhm.
teach courses on something that takes some time.
Yeah,
You don't get it overnight. If here's my thing, if I'm going to pay you, I need to see a profit by the end of the week.
that's just not realistic.
It got to be realistic on paying you.
Nah, it's
Because it sounds weird for me to have to pay you to learn something that's going to take some time to develop anyway.
you're paying for the access to that information. That's what you're paying for.
Right.
And in all of those courses, I don't care what course it is, what ebook it is, always, always, always in there, they're going to say uh past results is not guarantee future profits or
And
future
that's
results.
ridiculous.
But
That's
it's the same.
crazy.
It's the same thing for them. Even you know what I'm saying, like the millionaires or whatever that make millions of stuff off the things that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a risk for them too,
Right.
because just because they're more knowledgeable at it and they're, you know what I'm saying, putting more work into it or whatever, they could still fail, and that's why they had that disclaimer in there. Well, it's two reasons. One, because they themselves can still fail, right? So they don't want you to think like it's fully guaranteed. Second thing is the fact that they know that people are going to go through those courses and not put the work in for real, and they're going to get pissed off because they're not seeing results, and that's only because they're not really putting their work in, or they're not putting it in at the level that they should be. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
because nothing is guaranteed.
Right.
Like, period. Nothing is guaranteed at all. You know what I'm saying? Even with like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, or whatever, like, yeah, like they are like the richest people in the world, but it was not guaranteed. It was not guaranteed. Even now, it's still not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying?
It's guaranteed now for both of them. They
But
good.
it's not, it's almost 100%, but it's not 100%. Because that small 0.00001%, all the Teslas in the world could blow up, the SpaceX shuttles could blow up, PayPal can go out of business. You know what I'm saying? Everything or all the money that Elon has invested in certain stocks could plummet to zero. Like, it's a possibility. It's probably 0.00001, but it's still it's never zero.
So okay.
Nothing is guaranteed.
I might just be sounding like a hater right now, and I'm gonna take it because that's just how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? But I do have another thing. So, do you feel like anybody should ever be a billionaire? Would it be? And I mean that wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big controversy on the poor people side of the world that people who are billionaires, like there's no real need to be a billionaire. Like, you know, with somebody who's a go getter like yourself, what do you think? And let me give you like an example, just like a little jokey joke, but it's kind of fitting for the question.
Okay.
There's this little video, like a little clip from a movie that LeBron James did. This movie he was in, and he's a billionaire by this point. And he was out to eat with his homeboy, and they just got done eating. The bill came. It wasn't nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? LeBron was just sitting there, kind of like, you know, being goofy. He like to be funny when he trying to be funny. His homeboy was like, "Yeah, you got it." And LeBron was like, "Huh?" He was like, "Yeah, man, take care of the bill." LeBron was like, "Why do I have to take care of the bill?" And the guy was like, "You're LeBron James. LeBron James is the billionaire. The bill was like $60 or something." And so LeBron was like, "Man, look, man, just because you know who I am and I got a little bit of money on me doesn't mean you have to treat me any differently. Like, I'm just a regular guy like you." And I was sitting here watching the video, like, and I like LeBron. Like, as a person, I like LeBron. He's a great guy. LeBron, you have $1 billion, bro. It's a $60 bill. Pick up your homeboy said pick up the tab. Like, I know he just kind of like expect you to do it, but what do you expect him to expect when you have $1 billion? Now, the dude eventually just went ahead and paid it because, you know, he let LeBron talk. LeBron wouldn't talk me into nothing, but LeBron talked him into going ahead and paying for his own bill. Bro was like, "Okay, I pay my bill. I got it. He was like, "Yeah, man, this money could just leave tomorrow." I'm like, "No. You're a billionaire. It's not you. If you lose all your money and you're a billionaire, you did something wrong. It's something that you did wrong." But given that perspective, what do you think? Do people need to be billionaires? Is there a need for that?
Do people need to be billionaires?
Yes.
I feel like that's a loaded question. Like, of course, nobody needs to be a billionaire. Nobody needs to be poor. Nobody needs to be a trillionaire. You know what I'm saying? But if they are and they work for it, then I feel like they deserve it.
Okay, so there's another thing. And I'm switching all these things, right?
All right.
To be a billionaire, to be like 100 millionaire type of guy, specifically a billionaire, you have to have done something illegal. What do you think about that? Is there how much truth is there to that?
No,
I think Donald Trump even said that on one of his speeches that he gave, or he was just talking. Maybe it was on social media that something illegal has to happen for you to have that absurd amount of money.
I disagree with that. There's cutthroat stuff that has to happen. Like, you have to, you know what I'm saying, kind of get out of touch with your emotions at times. You know what I'm saying, make cutthroat business decisions. But as far as illegal, you don't have to do something illegal just to, you know what I'm saying, make absurd amount of money. I mean, I'm not saying this just not the case, but I feel like that's not. No,
It's not absolute.
no, because I mean, you have a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, multimillionaires and stuff like that that are doing stuff legitimately, especially people that are like what do you call it? Like affiliate marketers and stuff like that, like people that are doing stuff like online or making online sales or whatever. Like, they're not doing anything illegal, but they have like millions and billions of, some have billions and billions of dollars, and it's not illegal. Like, Yeah, no, I don't agree with that. Now there are a lot of billionaires and multimillionaires that have done a
That
lot of
have
illegal
yeah.
stuff.
So that's where the stereotype comes from.
I just don't see why. You have a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, like good business owners or people that make an honest living. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I feel like the reason for that question or that thought is because of the fact that most of the people make an honest living are not millionaires or billionaires.
That's what we saying. So it's gotta be. That's why it's a correlation.
Or they just in 9 to 5s, like regular 9 to 5s, and are not don't have like a side hustle or like a side gig or something like that that they're working
The average millionaire
on.
has about 7 streams of income.
Yeah.
Now that's fine. I'll talk about people that's making hundreds of millions of dollars up to $1 billion. There's got to be some type of illegal thing. I don't know. Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
Rihanna's a billionaire. I don't think she did nothing illegal.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like that can't go towards her. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it can't go towards a lot of those people
Mm-hmm.
because having 7 streams of income is like always that top goal. You know what I'm saying? And what if, you know what I'm saying, these multi-billionaires or whatever started these 7 streams of income and they just grew on top of
Mm-hmm. You know,
it? Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm just trying to speak for the people. This is,
understand?
it's all
I feel
good.
it. I feel it. I
No, I
feel it.
mean we all strive
Mhm.
for better in life, and I don't want to be a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm trying
I
to do
would love
something
that.
generational, like you said, which I,
Mhm.
I would like to have that as well.
Mhm.
Set up a family of generations where we just well off money
Mhm.
wise, and people can kind of just go live their dream and be what they want to be because we got the money to do it.
Mhm.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I think a lot of people would love to be a billionaire though, or
yeah.
have access to all that money.
And most times, people who are genuine people want to be billionaires because that's pretty much the peak of what you
Mhm.
can make money wise because it's just going to expand your whole world of
Mhm.
just being free. You can be in one country this day, another country the next day, and you ain't really broke a sweat because
Mhm.
you got so much money. You can just live life on a different level when you got that type of money, and people want to be able to live life better than they ever have before, and you really
Mhm.
just can't do that without being a billionaire. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, or proper money management. You know what I'm saying? But going back to that perspective though, you know what I'm saying, like being able to go to a different country, you know what I'm saying, every week or whatever, or doing whatever you're doing, like that's just being wealthy because you can literally do whatever you want to, and you're doing healthy things. Like either you're expanding your horizons, you're expanding your like your palate, like your taste palette, or you're expanding your um what do you call it, like your ability to see different cultures and stuff like that, or your cultural knowledge, whatever you want to call it. It's, I don't know, I feel like that that saying, what, having money is the root of all evil.
it's the love. It's supposed to be the love of money is the
Okay.
root of all evil, but the misconstrued version of it is
Mhm.
money is the root of all evil, and that's not
Yeah,
true.
I
The
agree.
love of money is the root of all evil, which that makes sense.
That definitely, yeah, that definitely makes sense. And I also feel another thing too, not having money is the root of all evil. I think Lil Wayne said that. There's something else that I kind of agree with too, because when people start, actually, I only halfway agree with it, and this is why. On one side of it, not having money will make people do like heinous things, like they know that they shouldn't. You know what I'm saying, robbing, stealing, and stuff
Yeah,
like that, or whatever. On the other side, it also unlocks this type of hustle mentality in somebody's, like I see that I'm completely broke, like I need to find something to do to dig myself out this hole. So I kind of like halfway, you know what I'm saying, disagree with that. But I don't know, that was just kind of like a little side thing. Or kind of off a little tangent. But yeah, I feel like anybody would like more money,
I would like more
like
money.
at the end of it. Yeah, like at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Some people can say, like, yeah, like I don't need all this, you know what I'm saying, all these millions, billions of dollars or whatever, but I guarantee if somebody gave it to you, you would accept it.
Yeah, I'm see.
Like,
I'm going to accept it. Yes.
yeah.
Do I need it? No.
Well, yeah,
You
of
know what I'm
course.
saying? I would be fine
Mhm.
with maybe like $10 million. I think I could live a very fruitful life because now I have enough money to invest and put into like bank accounts, Roth IRA accounts, to where your money starts to build up, and now I got more money. You know, I don't need all the money in the world. I just need enough to get me where I'm going, and
I
I'm
think
gonna be good.
I think it's what everybody wants. Everybody just want financial freedom.
Yeah, that's what we talk about when I had my episode about being in the workforce and quiet quitting and stuff like that. Like that's what we're talking about. We're working for wages that's unbelievable, is outrageous, and people expect us to just be okay with this quality of life, and we should all be living as equal as possible financially. But because America is a capitalist society, that it's just it will never be that. And it's sad, but all you really can do is get your money up in the best way you can, and sometimes it take a little minute to figure that out. It really does.
Yeah, or even getting out the country, getting out of America and living somewhere else
Hmm.
is a great option too, in my opinion.
And what I hate about that is a lot of people try to make it seem like you hate America so much, but it's really worse than every other country. And I know that a lot of countries don't have what we have, but there are some other countries that do have a Western type of feel where you can go and become somebody who is important and make bigger amounts of money and live a fruitful life, and like that those places do exist still. So that's always an option too. You just got to go to the right place.
Of course,
But most
yeah,
people do come here because they feel like the opportunity to make money, it can be so much quicker, which there's some truth to that too still.
yeah. The
Mm-mm-mm.
so-called what American
It's
dream.
the American dream, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of Americans are not living the American dream. It's a lot of people from other countries are coming
yeah,
here and realizing those dreams that we wish we had.
hmm
Boy, but we're gonna get there.
yeah, for
I'm with
sure.
it usually happens when you get around certain people who kind
Mhm,
of circulate that mindset and that mind frame and what they want to do with their life.
mhm,
You start to see what you're doing wrong, what you're doing well, and kind of take away from what they're doing and build yourself up. So like being around you and some of the other guys I got from my men's group, I'm seeing myself in my life kind of elevating financially, just being in the circles and
mhm,
living and moving differently. And so
mhm,
now it's only a matter of time before that starts to skyrocket, and I'm living the life that I want to live. I can be in one city one night, the next city the next night,
mhm.
and I didn't break a sweat.
Yeah,
I can do it easily. It's just kind of like because we living in like the most harsh time economically as a country, as a world right now, and there are
ever.
still people to this day who are lavishly living life.
Mhm,
Like nothing is affecting them. They can go to the grocery store, they can go to the gas station, and nothing is
mhm,
bothering them. People exist, and I'm seeing in my own eyes every day.
mhm.
They exist. You just got to get there, man. It's a journey.
Hard work. Like it's not easy. Well, for some people, it was easy,
Some
especially
people.
like NFTs and stuff like that. Them people that became multimillionaires overnight. But typically speaking, it is hard work because
Hmm.
if it wasn't hard, everybody would be millionaires, billionaires, stuff like that. You just gotta put in that work. Like, you know what I'm saying? I guess like waste your time as long as you're actually putting in that work, putting in that effort. Yeah, just waste your time. But yeah, being financially free is the goal at the end of the day. And I feel like that would solve a lot of a lot of people's problems because typically nowadays, you know what I'm saying, with inflation and everything going up and stuff like that, I feel like that's putting way more of a strain on people that we kind of
Hmm.
like thinking about. Like it's really causing people to strain because that's pretty much the topic of like other day, like almost every day. Something else is going up in price. Or like, you know what I'm saying, rent is going up or your bills going up or like it's people struggling financially. And then, you know what I'm saying, put that on top of mental and emotional struggles. Yeah, you got the people that in like the worst condition, like in years, I think, or like hundreds of years maybe. But yeah, it's some shit. I ain't gonna
Yeah, it's a lot going on, man. Listen, guys, that's what we got for you here with the Angle Podcast. It's all about putting that work in. We can do all the talking that we want to do, but
lie.
we do live in a society where it doesn't matter like how you feel. What matters is the work that you putting in, and then better yet, like who you know how you know and what you know and how you use all that knowledge and apply it. And that's kind of where you see the fruits and everything start to come back to you. It's all a game, but you got to play to win. And if you're not playing to win, you literally stay where you are at. And that's pretty much like the basis of this conversation, man. You got to just put that work in, and you got to, once you start to put that work in, realize what that work is, you start to see what the difference is between being wealthy and well off. And you got to decide for yourself where you want to be, how you want to stand, where do you want to stand in that.
Mhm.
So to end it off, man, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do an interview per se, but anybody that I have on my podcast or I'm interviewing or special guesting,
Mhm.
I need you to drop some gems for the black community. You know what I'm saying? Give like a word of advice, something for the us people. What you got for us?
I got two things. One, positivity over everything. Keep that in mind. The second thing, you literally cannot fail if you exhaust every option. And I'm gonna leave that at that.
Okay. I got some work to do. All right.
it's,
No,
it's a little deep, but that's just something
no,
I always think about.
yeah,
Like,
that's okay.
yeah,
I mess with that. Well, all
for
right,
sure.
man. Look, man, this is the Angle Podcast here with the bro, the frat, Joseph
For sure.
Okiki. Glad I got to have him on, man. Really good guys. Y'all can see we talk about this stuff all the time. Like I said, hit him up for any graphics. If you like the logo that you see that I have here on the YouTube or my Instagram, this guy's the one that did it. I will drop links to his work in the description. Y'all get to see all that stuff, man. I'm gonna catch y'all next time here on the Angle Podcast.